NFL star Logan Ryan won 2 Super Bowl titles while playing with the New England Patriots, success that he hopes to replicate here in New York with the Giants. But it's his work off the field where Ryan is trying to have an even bigger impact. Earlier this year, Ryan helped lobby for the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, which aims to end racial bias in policing and make departments more transparent. While the bill awaits Senate vote, Ryan wanted to do more, so he teamed up with his dad to take action.
If we help that one cop or that one altercation or that one civilian get home to their family, prevent one incident in my hometown, just one, then this company made a world of difference.
For 2-time Super Bowl champion Logan Ryan, police reform starts here, in his hometown of Berlin, New Jersey, about 100 miles south of his home with the Giants, MetLife Stadium.
Anything that I wanted to do, my dad was there for me.
For help with the project, Ryan turned to a man with decades of experience in law enforcement.
Every crime you've ever investigated, I've investigated.
His father, Lester, a retired Camden police officer and former member of the FBI.
I'm for the police. I was raised by a police officer, but I'm also for the people. I protested for the people. I grew up black. I'm a black father. I've been through some of those stresses and struggles. I feel like we have a unique father-son connection with his expertise and my platform to sit here and say, man, if I feel like I'm more than a football player, you're more than just a cop. And maybe we can make a difference.
The techniques that I've learned from that, I'm going to put into the program.
Through their newly founded company, Ryan Solutions, the pair is developing a police training curriculum. They're hoping to bring more empathy and reason to both the officers and the communities they police.
At some point, your distance better be right.
We visited their first training session last month in Berlin.
You all right?
The crux of Lester Ryan's method is based on respect.
If you're disrespectful to me as a citizen, I'm not supposed to be disrespectful to you.
Which is easier said than done.
Yes, that's the problem. I have to sit at a higher standard, right? So if you're disrespectful to me, I still will call you sir, and I still will call you ma'am. And I'll try to connect to you on some level of empathy. That's all the community wants, to be treated with respect.
Right.
It's the way you treat people, that's what they're offended at.
Have either one of you had an experience with a police officer that has been a bad experience?
I definitely had situations where I felt like I wasn't being talked to respectfully. There was times where I felt like it wanted to go there. Growing up black, my dad taught me that I can't control what someone else may do or may think of me, but I almost have to be better. I kind of felt like growing up, getting pulled over, I had to be the more mature person in that situation at a young age.
When we go to the right,
Training, both Ryans say, is crucial. Logan compares it to football.
You got to keep doing the training.
Right. Muscle memory.
Muscle memory. Hundreds of thousands of reps I took to feel comfortable in the most high pressure situations. So why in policing we not emphasize training? More and more reps, proper reps. So when you are in that stressful situation, you do have that bad day, you're in a bad mood at work, you can go relate and perform to the level of your training.
We saw today some officers here, obviously. I'm sure you'd want more if possible. How do you guys feel?
I'm extremely encouraged.
Yeah, I'm
because
encouraged.
today was a concept brought to light. He can't go everywhere and touch every officer. But if he touches one officer, that officer might arrest how many people? If we get the top officers, we get the chiefs to come and they can learn a couple of our methods, they may be able to teach a couple of their guys.
Because it's such a big problem. Somebody would look at this and say, that's like just a drop in the water. It's one.
well, one person can do a lot, because one drop can send out many ripples in a pond that can create a wave.
Is that the hope here?
I believe we have to have a national standard of minimum force requirement in this country.
Father and son know one training session isn't enough. They see this as just the start.
We would love to be our methodology to be something that has to be taken every year so you can be certified in it.
All of the things that you talk about, I start to think, and that costs money. And there's a movement now that says defund the police.
Defund the police is not a good idea. You have to redirect the funding so it goes to the proper training. Defunding gives the police less materials to work with, less manpower to work with, and therefore that may cause more problems than actually people think it's going to help.
The Ryans are working on getting their curriculum in front of Senator Cory Booker with their ultimate goal, obviously, to bring it to that national level. One of the police chiefs whose department attended the first training session says that the concepts here would be effective nationwide, but added that it is hard to enforce a national training standard when the laws in every state are different. And I know there's a lot in there. The big thing that stood out to me is they talked about this training. It's not enough to go to the police academy when you're first getting into the force. Yes. The things you learn, you need to continually go back and have refreshers, not just go to the gun range and work on your firing of your weapon. You have to work on cuffing people, on these techniques also that they talk about with minimal force over and over.
I like what Logan said, that sometimes you have to actually take it to a higher level as a police officer,
Yeah.
Even if the person is treating you with disrespect, you have to be the one because you're the professional.
And that's something that really requires training.
Exactly.
I mean,
Right.
You have to be put in those situations and understands how to behave and respond.
And Logan also said if it helps just one person, if it saves one life, it will be worth it. What's the name of their company?
Right, RAST. It is Ryan Alternative Strategy Techniques, I believe, is the full acronym, but RAST. And Logan's going to use his platform this season to try to bring this to light even more. And his father has more trainings scheduled already in the New Jersey area. Again, it's like just the start and see where it can go from there.
I love the two of them together.
Yes.
I love when he said, my dad was always there for me. I could always talk to my dad. Just seeing that dynamic, I think, is an important message for people to see. And I don't think it'll be hard to get it in front of Cory Booker.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Do you, Anthony? I mean,
They're having some conversations right now.
on.
So, yes, it is exactly something he should be looking at.
Nicely done,
Very
Dan. I'm
positive.
glad we got to meet them.